Hey Cottonwood Valley followers, it's Matt here on the 2nd of March, and it's hard to believe we're already in 2026 and growing season kicks off today. Today we're out here in the greenhouse, our little propagation house, my 12 by 20, pardon the mess. It is definitely not ready for full-blown plug production out here yet. It kind of became the winter storage spot, but today we're getting a jump start on 3 different crops out here. We've got some epic eggplant, we've got some mammoth jalapeños, and King Arthur bell peppers going in 200 cell seed starting trays from our friends over at Bootstrap Farmers. Believe me, I'm not sponsored, paid full price for all this stuff, but anyhow, we're gonna get about 1,000 seeds started. We're just seeding them out here in the greenhouse today. Had the propane heater on, got it up to about 70 degrees in here. Feels nice and toasty, but just starting them in here, then they'll go back to the grow rack in the basement. I'll show you where that is inside my house. I have heat mats for all of these and grow lights where they'll live for the first week or two before we come out here after this weekend when I get all the pallets and racking set up and prepare to transplant them. So there's nothing more important when we get started than our record keeping. And for that today, it's all gonna start with this label maker. We're gonna get labels, put them on all the trays. That's gonna have the variety, the type, or the name of it, and the date I started the seeds. I'll transcribe all that into my Google Doc or my notebook when I'm done. But first up, we gotta get labels made. Okay, I got all my labels made to go on the trays. A little bit of a pro tip on that is I threw about that many away because I couldn't spell, even with all the names written right here in front of me. And it's not so bad on these trays because they're only gonna be in them for a couple weeks. But when you get them out in the trays where they'll be out here for 6 to 8 weeks, you wanna spell them right because those spelling errors will haunt you from the time you start watering them every day to the people helping transplant them. They'll always point out that you in fact spelt it wrong, and I'm aware of that. So get them spelled right, save yourself the hassle of that and the humiliation of it. But time to get the trays labeled. Like I said, these are 200 cell trays. I think I've got enough seeds to fill most of them up. I'm at least doing 500 of the mammoth jalapeños and 500 of the bell peppers to go with. I don't know if I've got enough to do 200 eggplant. I really only need about 150 for my row links this year. So we'll see what those end up being, but get them labeled here and on to the next step. I've got them all nice and labeled up. It's hard to see with the light shining on them, but has the labels there. Good to go. I hope they stick okay. Last year they stuck on these trays okay. So next up will be to get them the flats filled. So coming over here, I've got my tub of seed starting mix. So this is what you would consider a soilless mix. This is actually leftover from last year, stuff that didn't get used. So what this is 6 parts peat moss, 1 part vermiculite, and 1 part perlite. So just a really nice moisture there, just good enough to get the seeds started. Just getting the cells nice and full there. Okay, with them full, give them just a little bit of a shake. Back over here to the table. All I'm gonna do is take another tray here, line it up, give it a little pressure, firm. Try to give it evenly across there. Boom, and there we have perfect little holes to drop all the seeds in. So now that we have the tray prepped, I'm gonna get my seeds here. These are the King Arthurs. So what I like to do here is set this piece of plexiglass on it where I can see the cells. That just helps me slide down the tray. And then very, very carefully dump out some seeds here. And all I'm gonna do is bring it down to this first row. And so these are 200 count to a tray. Then just start dragging one at a time into each cell. Some people have a vacuum seeder for this. I just do not think I do enough to really justify one yet. Though I am a DIYer and I have looked at plans, I've watched plenty of YouTube videos, and it might happen mainly because I like building things. That's really my only reasoning for it. Okay, just like that, a few minutes later, we've got the full tray seeded, 200 of them. Now I just go through, make sure there's none that need kind of poked down in the cell. So 200 of them there. I know I talked about not needing a vacuum seeder. That's before I hand seeded 200 of them. And knowing I've got like 6 more trays of that to go tonight, I'm a resourceful guy. I might DIY one up this weekend. We'll see. But anyways, that's 200 of them. So we're going to at least do another full tray of bells, then move on to the mammoth jalapeños and then the epic eggplant and see what we have left over seed-wise. I don't know if I should start them all tonight or give myself a little space in case I need to do a replant with some of the leftover seeds, but we'll see. So now this is going to go back in to the tray of soil over there, or the seed starting mix, just a light mix on top of it. Then I'll soak it down good with water, and down to the basement to the seed starting rack it'll go. So off to those steps. So in here, all I'm doing is a very gentle, light dusting of it on top, because I don't want to knock any of the seeds out of any of their cells. Just want to get them covered up to lock that moisture in when we water them good. And it's worth noting that this seed starting mix is actually pretty damp already. So that should help as well. And we'll do some bottom watering once they're in the racks to keep them from drying out with those heat mats down in the basement. Like I was saying, just kind of brushing off the excess, just cleaning it off around the edges here. Just trying to keep from making as big a mess as possible. I am pretty good at making big messes. So anyways, there we have a full tray. So the next step will be to get them watered. I do want to be careful with the seeds because they're fragile. They haven't been watered in yet. And I have a lot of water pressure here at the house. I'm like 300 feet behind me is like the city water tower. So a lot of pressure. So I actually have a pressure reducer on this hose and the valve barely cracked. So I just try to get it adjusted to make sure I get just a gentle stream on it. So just a nice even watering. Okay, now let them soak down through. Okay, so quick wrap up here. I gotta be quiet because my daughter's upstairs sleeping, but got all 1,200 seedlings tucked in. Next video will be completely about this grow rack that I built last season to get seeds started, so thanks for following along.